younger than the dinosaurs.
Betty White was older than sliced bread. It was invented in 1928 and Betty was 6 years old.
Chicago's nickname, the Windy City, derives from a 19th century journalist who claimed that the residents were windbags full of hot air.
The University of Oxford in England is older than the Aztec Empire.
Sharks have been around for about 400 million years longer than whales.
The town of Idlewild in Southern California has elected a dog as its mayor.
The kiwi is the only bird that has nostrils at the end of its beak.
Every US state shares a letter with the word mackerel, apart from Ohio.
Dreamt is the only word in the English language that ends in MT.
Humans and giraffes share the same number of bones in the neck.
The 1883 eruption of Mount Krakatoa, Indonesia, was so loud that the explosion was heard nearly 2,000 miles away in Australia.
The first ever text message was sent in 1992 and said, "Merry Christmas."
There is not a letter A in any number between 1 and 999.
Mosquitoes can smell which blood type you are and are twice as likely to someone who is type O than someone who is type A.
During Prohibition, pharmacists could prescribe whiskey for medicinal purposes, which was the only legal way to obtain alcohol.
The cost of one Coca-Cola bottle in the US is enough to buy 20 bottles in Iran.
Texas has the highest speed limit of any US state. You can drive down the Texas State Highway 130 at 85 miles per hour.
Frederick Boer, inventor of the Pringles container, had his ashes placed in one of the original flavor cans when he passed away in 2008.
The average 4-year-old child asks over 400 questions each day.
Modern calculators have around 6 times the processing power than that of the central computer system that got Apollo 11 to the moon.
Human beings entirely replace their outer layer of skin every month. Over a lifetime, the average human will shed more than 40 pounds of skin.
At its widest point, the Pacific Ocean is around 5 times wider than the moon in diameter.
For left-handed people, using equipment designed for right-handed people can be very dangerous. It is estimated that over 2,500
Don't forget to like some thumbs ups if you're in here. Thumbs ups, like and thumbs ups in the video.
The Toy Story character Buzz Lightyear was originally going to be called Lunar Larry.
Over 70% of the plants used in cancer treatment medicines are found solely in tropical rainforests.
There we go.
There are over 2,000 known cancer-treating plants in rainforests.
The average adult person has between 2 and 9 pounds of bacteria in their body at any given time.
Facebook has more users than the population of the USA, China, and Brazil combined.
Starfish have the amazing ability to regenerate limbs. Not only can they regrow an arm if they lose it, but they can also regenerate an entire body just from one arm alone.
The founders of Google were willing to sell the company in 1999. They offered it to Excite for less than $1 million, but their proposal was rejected.
A shrimp's heart is in its head.
Wearing headphones for just a single hour
can increase the
amount of bacteria in your ear by around 700 times.
Just like human fingerprints, everyone's tongue print is completely unique.
The US dollar can be broken down into 293 different variations of change.
In 1907, a woman was arrested for indecency for wearing a one-piece swimsuit on a beach near Boston.
Sharks are the only sea creature who are known to be able to blink with both eyes at once.
The longest one-syllable words in the English language are 10 letters long: scraunched and strengthened.
The almond is technically a member of the peach family.
Maine is the only US state name that only has one syllable.
Cats have 32 muscles in each ear.
Tigers do not just have striped fur, they have striped skin as well.
The real name for the hashtag symbol is Octothorpe.
A traditional pleated chef's hat contained 100 folds, which is supposed to represent mastering 100 ways to prepare one type of food, such as an egg.
Yoda and Miss Piggy were voiced by the same person, Frank Oz.
The longest ever wedding veil was almost 23,000 feet long. That is the length of 63 football fields.
The centre of a Kit Kat is made up of broken down Kit Kats.
Some cats are allergic to humans.
The crown jewels for the British monarchy contain the 2 largest cut diamonds on Earth.
The Vatican has declared that the bread used in Holy Communion to symbolize the body of Christ cannot be gluten-free.
The dinosaur we know now as a velociraptor was thought to only be slightly larger than a chicken.
In South Korea, they have an emergency phone number where people can report a suspected spy.
There is a flower named the corpse flower because it smells the same as decaying flesh. It blooms approximately once every decade.
1 in 5 people in Singapore are millionaires.
The letter E makes up 11% of the entire English language.
Baboons in the wild have been known to take puppies and raise them as pets.
The population of Ireland is still 2 million people less than it was before the potato famine, which occurred 160 years ago.
There is a basketball court above the US Supreme Court, which...
This is Audible.
1,000 Random Facts Everyone Should Know. A collection of random facts useful for the bar trivia night, get-togethers, or as conversation starters. Written by Tyler Backhouse. Narrated by Philip Andrew Hodges. 1,000 Random Facts Everyone Should Know. Have you ever had that moment when you are in the middle of a conversation to your next Thanksgiving dinner? Though the gobble gobble sound is associated with all turkeys, typically it is only the male making the sound. Male turkeys perfect their unique gobble sounds for turkey mating habits. 3. Contrary to Dracula's claims, vampire bats do want to suck your blood, but are far more likely to feed on cattle and horses than people. The bite of a vampire bat will not drain its victim of enough blood to cause harm, but can cause a nasty infection. 4. Cockatiels are monogamous birds that pair off young and remain loyal to each other.
Or, with my luck, things could never work out. Cease to be entertained. Instead, you begin to expect that what you imagine for yourself is not only on its way, it's already here. This new self-portrait, based on the cooperative presence of the invisible Tao, elevates you to living an inspired life. That is, one of being in spirit, or in unending touch with the Tao. When you live infinitely, the rewards are a sense of peace.
Which goes by the official name of higher than 2 today. Mosquitoes have approximately 47 teeth.
Not all twins are born on the same day. The longest period between 2 twins being born was 87 days.
At last count in 2015, there were almost 150,000 restaurants in Tokyo.
Butterflies use their feet to taste things.
When we used the Roman calendar, February was the last month of the year, which is why it has the least number of days.
If kept in a dark room for long enough, goldfish will turn entirely white.
The world's largest city is Tokyo, with over 37 million inhabitants.
At Cornell University, you can obtain a degree in the science of winemaking.
Approximately 700 grapes go into making a single bottle of wine.
Moonflowers only bloom when the moon is out.
The largest ever sandcastle in the world was 69 feet high.
There are around 10 quintillion insects on the planet right now. That is 10 with 18 zeros.
Baked beans are not actually baked, they are stewed.
Bats' legs are so thin that they cannot physically walk.
Polar bear liver has so much vitamin A that it is toxic for humans to eat.
It takes 570 gallons of paint to cover the entire White House.
To honor athlete Usain Bolt, Berlin gave him a 12-foot chunk of the Berlin Wall.
The drug LSD was only made illegal in the state of California in 1966.
The word outlaw originally meant that the individual was outside of the law, meaning you could kill them without being punished.
Human birth control pills have been shown to work on gorillas.
We are only born with two natural fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises.
Mandarin Chinese is spoken more than any other language worldwide.
There is a pub situated in the town of Athlone, Ireland, that has been open since 900 AD.
There is a kind of fish in the ocean called the barrel-eye fish, with a completely transparent head. It lives in total darkness at around 800 meters deep.
The largest artery in the human body is the aorta, and it is nearly a foot long.
In the USA, the average person owns 7 pairs of blue jeans.
The platypus does not have a stomach.
The name for the shape of a Pringle is a hyperbolic paraboloid.
An average of 2,000 tons of buried munitions are found every year in Germany, left over from World War II.
Once the Rubik's Cube was created, it took the creator an entire month to work out how to solve it.
The longest solar eclipse in the 21st century lasted 6 minutes and 39 seconds. There won't be a longer one until 2132.
If you made $1 every second, it would take you 2,921 years to become richer than Bill Gates.
The brain has more fat than any other organ in the body.
Apes laugh when they are tickled.
The teddy bear is named after President Theodore Roosevelt.
A weather forecast for a single day requires around 10 billion mathematical equations to be carried out.
Dogs have been banned from Antarctica since 1994 due to concerns that they might spread disease to seals.
Mice can fit through extremely small gaps, even the hole of a ballpoint pen.
The inspiration for the shape of Pac-Man was a pizza with one slice removed from it.
As humans, we share 50% of our genes with bananas.
In Strasbourg, in 1518, something known as the dancing plague took hold of the town, where several hundred people danced uncontrollably and unwillingly for days on end. The unexplained phenomenon lasted for around 2 months, then ended just as mysteriously. Digital computer was programmed by a team of 6 women.
Baby elephants suck their trunks for comfort, just like humans do with their thumbs.
Literally.
In Utah, there is a 107-acre forest that is made up of just one tree.
Birds would not be able to survive in space, as they rely on gravity to be able to swallow.
When we fly in an aeroplane, we lose around 30% of our sense of taste.
A blue whale's heart is around the size of a golf cart, weighing 630 times the weight of a human heart.
You don't care.
On Jupiter and
Of course you
Saturn, it rains diamonds.
A glass ball can bounce higher than a rubber ball of the same size.
There are more atoms in a single glass of water than there are glasses of water in all of Earth's oceans.
DreamWorks was created by a former Disney employee.
The Star Wars character, Chewbacca, was inspired by George Lucas's dog.
Pajamas became popularized over nightgowns in England during World War I, as they were easier to run in the event of an air raid.
It is estimated that millions of trees have been planted by squirrels who forgot where they buried their nuts.
Ants have an even stronger sense of smell than dogs.
China has only one time zone.
The people alive today represent only around 7% of those who have ever been alive.
Thomas Jefferson kept pet grizzly bears.
The most popular name throughout the entire world is Muhammad.
Australia has a lake that is bright pink, caused by an unusual mixture of natural salt and algae in the water.
After the death of her husband, Prince Albert, Queen Victoria wore black every day for 40 years until her own eventual death.
Writing a death threat using only emojis can still result in criminal prosecution.
A group of pugs is called a grumble.
Rainforest is Schubert do.
Statistically speaking, you will share your birthday with around 21 million other people on the planet.
Venus and Uranus are the only planets in the solar system that rotate clockwise.
Beavers used to be the size of bears.
Penguins can jump as high as 9 feet into the air.
Pluto was named by an 11-year-old in the year 1930.
The sunsets on Mars are blue rather than orange or red.
Cotton candy was invented by a dentist.
In the year 2016, Mozart sold more albums than Beyoncé.
Los Angeles has more cars than people.
Armadillos can become buoyant when they swim by swallowing air.
The entire city of Paris has only one stop sign.
There is a heavy metal band whose lead singer is a parrot.
Cameron Diaz and Snoop Dogg went to school together.
2/3 of the world's population has never seen real snow.
You technically do not have to be a lawyer to be a Supreme Court justice.
The human eye typically makes around 50 tiny movements every second.
The average human scalp has over 100,000 hair follicles.
You can still get goosebumps after you die.
In the UK, swans are property of the Crown, meaning that if you're caught stealing or killing one, you could be sentenced to jail time.
The first woman to run for president was Victoria Woodhull in 1872, who ran against Ulysses Grant. It was a further 50 years before women could vote.
Astronauts use salt and pepper in liquid form while they're in space, as granules would simply float away.
Komodo dragons can eat 5 pounds of meat in less than 1 minute.
At birth, a baby panda is smaller than a mouse.
In 1634, tulip bulbs were a form of currency in the Netherlands.
Dentistry is one of the oldest known professions, with records dating back to 7000 BC.
There is a name given to the phobia of being without mobile phone signal: nomophobia.
Football, rugby, golf, boxing and cricket were all invented in the UK.
The most counterfeit US currency is produced in North Korea.
The number 2520 is the smallest number that can be divided between the numbers 1 to 10.
Pope Francis broke the record for most Instagram followers, obtained in 12 hours, gaining more than 1 million in that time.
You cannot buy gum at Disneyland, as Walt Disney didn't want anyone to step on it as they enjoyed the park.
It was estimated that cockroaches have been around 120 million years longer than dinosaurs.
In Great Britain and Japan, black cats are good luck, not bad.
The most profitable film of all time is Paranormal Activity.
Cats spend more than 2/3 of their lives sleeping.
Google uses goats instead of lawnmowers in their headquarters.
The human body replaces every single cell every 7 to 10 years, meaning the oldest part of your body is no more than 10 years old.
Nutella was first invented during World War II As chocolate was rationed, hazelnuts were added to make it go further.
There is a village in the Netherlands with no streets, only canals.
It is estimated that on average, the British drink 165 million cups of tea every day.
John Quincy Adams was gifted a pet alligator by a French general, which he kept in a bathtub in the White House.
Cows have been proven to produce more milk when they are listening to music.
If you were to play the world's longest musical piece, it would take around 630 years.
4 out of 10 of the largest statues in the world are of Buddha.
Digging a hole to China is technically possible if you start in Argentina.
Flamingos are born light grey. They only turn pink due to a chemical present in the fish and algae that they eat.
German chocolate cake is not actually German. It was named after American baker Samuel German.
Around half of all US adults currently have a Netflix subscription.
85% of Chinese people share the same 100 surnames.
The first planet that was predicted before it was physically seen was Neptune.
The world record for the tallest ever stack of donuts is more than 3,000.
11 US states have land further south than the northern part of Mexico.
Pandiculating is the act of stretching.
Seals tend to sleep only for a minute and a half at one time.
A dead jockey once won a horse race. In 1923, a jockey died mid-race, but his horse kept running and won the race.
To date, Apple had sold more than 1.9 billion iPhones.
A town called Boring in Oregon and a town called Dull in Scotland have been sister cities since 2012.
Queen Elizabeth II has owned over 30 corgis in her lifetime.
A cat's tail contains nearly 10% of all the bones in its body.
Abraham Lincoln was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, having only ever lost once in 300 matches.
There is a vending machine in Singapore that dispenses Coke when you hug it.
Half of all bank robberies in the US happen on a Friday.
99% of the species that have ever lived on Earth have already died out.
The hands and footprints tradition in front of Los Angeles' Chinese theatre began by accident, when famous actress Norma Talmadge stepped on wet cement by mistake.
The longest place name on the planet is 85 letters long.
It takes the average person just 7 minutes to fall asleep.
From a botanical perspective, a banana is technically a herb rather than a fruit.
Since Homo sapiens appeared more than 200,000 years ago, an estimated 100 billion people have lived and died.
Aegilops is the longest English word that is in alphabetical order.
It is not possible to sneeze in your sleep.
Avocados will not ripen when still on the tree, only after they have been picked.
Ducklings will imprint with whoever they meet within the first few minutes of birth. If that is a human, it will consider them its parent forever.
43 countries still have a royal family.
The tongue of a blue whale is heavier than an elephant, weighing more than 7,000 kilograms.
President John F. Kennedy purchased more than 1,000 Cuban cigars on the same day that he ordered the Cuban trade embargo.
The ocean contains more than 200,000 different kinds of viruses.
Abraham Lincoln was a licensed bartender.
In Mexico City,
Abraham
doing
Lincoln was a
10
licensed
squats will
bartender.
get you a free subway ticket. This is the government's initiative for fighting obesity.
The speed of a computer mouse is measured in Mickeys, and this was coined even before it was called a mouse.
Your sense of smell will begin to improve within only 2 days of quitting smoking.
If you search the word askew on Google, the screen will tilt to the right.
President John Tyler, born in 1790, has a grandson who is still alive today.
During the 1600s in Turkey, drinking coffee in public was punishable by death.
The most expensive coin in the world was sold for $10 million.
South Sudan is the youngest country in the world, gaining independence in 2011.
There is a singular village in India that has over 200 pairs of twins, even though the village itself has only around 2,000 families.
The word friends is said in every single episode of Friends.
African elephants are beginning to evolve without tusks, which is thought to be a protective response against poaching.
The famous line in Jaws, "We're gonna need a bigger boat," was improvised and not in the script.
There is a website that tracks the world's population in real time.
Since recorded history began, the world has only been at peace for a total of 268 years, about 8% of its lifespan.
In 1919, a tank of molasses in a Boston distillery ruptured, sending 2.3 million gallons of molasses racing through the city at a speed of 35 miles per hour.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first American film to have a soundtrack.
The dog who played Toto in The Wizard of Oz was paid $125 per week, which was more than some of the human actors were paid.
The youngest ever Pope was just 11 years old, and he is the only person to have been the Pope twice.
In Albania, people shake their head to mean yes and nod to mean no.
The Grand Canyon can fit the world's entire population in it, and it would not even be full.
Identical twin babies can be told apart by their navels, since the navel is a scar rather than the product of genetics.
In Ethiopia, they follow a different calendar to the rest of the world, so they are around 8 years behind time.
The average person will spend 6 months of their life waiting for red traffic lights to turn green.
In Iceland, it is forbidden to give your child a name that has not been approved by the Icelandic Naming Committee.
Cheetahs do not roar. They make a sound that is very like that of a house cat.
Hawaii is the only US state that has just one school district.
Mosquitoes do not just bite humans to suck our blood. They also urinate on us before flying away.
The handshake dates back to the 5th century BC. It was originally to show that a swordsman did not have a concealed weapon in his other hand.
Some people have a fear of vegetables, which is called lechanophobia.
A suspected 3% of the ice in the glaciers of Antarctica is penguin urine.
High heel shoes were originally created for men.
The first female member of Congress in the US was appointed in 1916, before women were granted the right to vote.
Most of a crocodile's body is bulletproof, except for its belly and the top of its head.
Squirrels will often adopt another squirrel's baby if the parent dies. They are one of the only species who have been shown to do this.
All US presidents pay for their own food and household expenses while living in the White House.
27,000 trees are cut down every single day to make toilet paper.
Over 1 million people in Beijing live in nuclear bunkers.
There is not a single point in the entire United Kingdom that is more than 75 miles away from a coastline.
Welcome in, welcome in,
The
welcome in.
Russians arrived 12 days late to the 1908
Welcome in, welcome in,
Olympics
welcome in.
because they follow the
Got some-
Julian calendar rather than the Gregorian calendar.
Gregorian.
The first ever telephone book was released in 1878 and contained 50 names.
There you
Benjamin
go.
Franklin is in the International Swimming Hall of Fame.
There are more Lego figures on Earth than there are people.
There is a ski-through McDonald's in Sweden.
Laid out end to end, the total length of blood vessels in an adult human body would be long enough to circle the Earth more than twice, around 60,000 miles.
A single lightning bolt contains around 1 billion volts, and has enough energy to power around 50 houses for 24 hours.
Let's go, guys.
About
Don't forget to
40 million
comment, and
years
share.
ago, there is evidence to suggest that penguins were 6 feet tall.
Hippo sweat is red
Penguin.
in colour, which also acts
The
as a
coolest
natural
fact that I
sunscreen.
learned today,
The thigh
Abraham
bone,
Lincoln
or the femur, is both
used
the
to be a
longest
bartender.
and strongest
Abraham
bone in
Lincoln
the
had a
human
bartending
body.
license, apparently.
The first country where a woman could vote was New Zealand in 1893.
1893.
Antarctica is the only continent not to have a city called Rome.
If put back into place, teeth can reattach to their roots.
Only 2 national flags in the world contain purple, Dominica and Nicaragua.
The shortest word for a star. There is such a thing as drinking too much water. It's called hyponatremia and can kill.
Conception in December exceeds that of any other month.
In the USA, it is a federal crime to use a friend's Netflix account.
The moon is gradually slowing the rotation of the Earth, adding approximately 1.4 milliseconds every 100 years. During the time of dinosaurs, days were around 23 hours long.
Dolphins have names for each other. They make different noises to communicate with other individual dolphins.
The age of a fish can be determined similarly to trees, as their scales have growth rings for every year that they have been alive.
There is a name specifically given to the study of the planet Jupiter, xenography.
The Eiffel Tower was originally intended to be built in Barcelona, but the Spanish rejected it for being too ugly.
Humans can only survive without oxygen for 3 minutes.
In Samoa, it is illegal to forget your wife's birthday.
Male seahorses carry offspring and give birth, not the females.
The grizzly bear hibernates for up to 8 months at a time, without eating or drinking anything at all.
A grenade going off underwater is deadlier than if it were to go off on land.
The hottest inhabited place on Earth is Ethiopia.
Around 4,000 words on average are added to the English dictionary every single year.
Hot water freezes faster than cold water. This is called the Mpemba effect.
The bowler hat was originally invented to be a horse riding helmet, protecting the rider's head.
The Church of Scientology has been officially banned from editing articles on Wikipedia.
Living in some of the most polluted parts of China is the equivalent of smoking 21 cigarettes per day.
There is such a thing as partaking in the art of bell ringing, which is known as campanology.
90% of the species on Earth that have become extinct have been birds.
There is a law in Switzerland that says you are not allowed to flush the toilet after 10 p.m.
The largest eye of any animal on Earth is that of the giant squid, whose eyes are 11 inches across.
Everyone who works at the Ben & Jerry's factory can take home 3 pints of ice cream every day.
Both the 2010 and 2014 World Cup Games were watched by almost half of the world's population.
Due to the Earth's rotation, you can throw an object further if you throw it west.
It is illegal for citizens to make offensive gestures at passing cars in Zimbabwe.
The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows.
Only around 20% of Earth's deserts are sandy.
Pirates used to wear an eye patch so that one eye was already adjusted to low light when they raided ships and went below deck into dark spaces.
There is a law in Israel that says you are not allowed to bring a bear to the beach.
Victorian women commonly consumed arsenic, which is highly toxic, believing it would make them look younger.
By size and weight, the masseter muscle controlling the jaw is the strongest muscle in the human body.
At a massive 1,107 feet, the Shard in London is the tallest building in the UK and the 7th tallest in Europe.
During a 12-hour period of working, ants will only rest for an average of 8 minutes.
Mount Everest is bigger today than it was the last time it was measured.
Due to more UV radiation in the ozone layer, flowers around the world are gradually changing colour.
The original packaging for Coca-Cola was green.
The human brain triples in size during the first year of a person's life and is 80% fully grown by the age of 2.
Camels have 3 eyelids, which protect them from sand blowing in the desert.
Polar bears and grizzly bears in Canada
All right, guys.
were
We're
started mating.
24th,
The hybrid is known as the roller bear.
first place.
During sleep, a fluid is flushed through the brain to wash away
61, that would
harmful
be cool.
proteins and toxins. Sleep is literally cleansing our brains.
Every single continent begins and ends with the same letter.
The most expensive coffee in the world can cost more than $600 for a single pound.
If we did not have saliva, we would no longer be able to taste food.
Your right hand has never touched your right elbow.
It is impossible to die from holding your breath.
The Guinness Book of Records holds the world record for being the most stolen book from libraries.
There were wild elephants, hippos, rhinos, and lions roaming free in Great Britain within the last 100,000 years.
Through the Crown Estate, the Queen of England owns roughly 1/6 of the land on the entire planet.
Guys.
Left alone and with enough space, 2 rats could multiply to make as many as 1 million in just 1.5 years.
Enjoy.
There is a name for the scent
the
that lingers
game.
after rain. Petrichor.
Chat.
The official term for hitting something until it works is percussive maintenance.
The ocean hosts nearly 95% of life on the planet, meaning that those of us living above water are outnumbered 19-1 by sea life.
The entire world's population could fit into the city of Los Angeles.
British soldiers during World War II received a ration of 3 sheets of toilet paper per day. Americans were allowed 22 sheets per day.
The hottest chili pepper in the world has the power to kill a human.
Each letter of the Hollywood sign is 30 feet wide and 50 feet high.
Pigs cannot look up at the sky. In fact, it is physically impossible.
The longest word in the English language without vowels is rhythms.
There is a town in Chile called Calamar where it almost never rains.
Humans and tree shrews are the only animal that enjoys spicy foods.
The saying, sweating like a pig, is peculiar considering pigs cannot sweat.
When you donate blood in Sweden, you receive a text message to let you know when someone has used it.
The USA once offered $100 million to buy Greenland.
On average, we spend 12 weeks per year looking for something.
There is a company that turns people's ashes into a piece of coral reef, providing a habitat for fish and sea life.
Egypt is considered the oldest country in the world, dating back to 3100 BC.
Jackie Chan is the highest paid actor in Asia.
Japan is currently facing a ninja shortage, as it is a dying tradition.
Your nose is always visible to you, but your mind ignores it most of the time.
More Monopoly money is printed each year than real money.
Switzerland and Vatican City are the only nations with a square flag.
The Hogwarts Express is a real train on which you can travel in Scotland.
Elephants are known to suffer from PTSD.
The plastic part at the end of a shoelace is called an aglet.
There is such a thing as a flying bicycle and are available to buy.
Dolphins sleep with one eye open and are constantly on the lookout for predators.
The world's greatest vertical drop is in Canada's Baffin Island.
The first McDonald's drive-thru was originally built in Arizona due to military staff working at a nearby base not being allowed to get out of their cars in uniform.
There is a bridge in Germany that is designed to look like it is made from Lego.
Until the mid-18th century, umbrellas used to be for women only.
In ancient Greece and ancient Rome, spider webs were used to make bandages due to their antiseptic properties.
Only 2% of people have green eyes.
A group of owls is called a parliament.
I have green
Mad
eyes.
Max was created by
I am
the
part
same
of the
person
2%.
who made
Only
Happy
2%
Feet.
of the population has green eyes.
Once
I have
every
green
19
eyes.
years, there is no full moon during February. February is the only calendar month this phenomena will ever occur.
1/3 of Panama's economy is funded by toll charges from the Panama Canal.
Approximately 9,310 tweets are sent out every second.
The national flag with the most colours is Belize, which has 12.
Uranus
Belize.
takes 84 years to orbit the Sun once.
Belize.
The average cumulus cloud weighs more than 500,000 kilograms.
On Svalbard, a remote Norwegian island, it is illegal to die.
Coffee is only produced in 2 US states,
Send a
Hawaii
heart.
and California.
Send in
The
a heart
Apollo
if
11
you are
team
enjoying the
left
trivia.
hundreds of signed autographs at home with loved ones, so they could be sold to raise money if they did not return.
Rainbows have been known to happen at night and are generally caused by light reflecting from the moon.
The mafia themselves commanded that the word mafia could not be used in the movie The Godfather.
Honey from the Himalayan honeybee is hallucinogenic.
Bumblebees can fly higher than Mount Everest.
The British Parliament passed an act in 1986 known as the Salmon Act, rendering it illegal to hold salmon under suspicious circumstances.
Bananas that we eat today can no longer reproduce without the help of farmers, as they no longer contain seeds.
We use more than twice as many muscles to frown as we do to smile.
Hans Zimmer has composed music for more than 150 movies, but never had any formal music training.
George Washington had a fear of being buried alive, so much so that he requested his staff wait 2 days after his death before burying him.
In English, to leave a party without telling anyone is called a French exit. In French, it is called a partir à l'anglaise, which means to leave like the English.
Liechtenstein and Haiti used to have an identical national flag, which they only realised at the 1936 Olympics.
The largest, tallest, and fastest land animals on the planet all come from Africa: the African elephant, the giraffe, and the cheetah.
30 of the first 31 popes were believed to have been murdered.
92% of the world's currency is now. There are companies that will put human ashes into fireworks when they die.
Having more body hair has been found to have a correlation with higher IQ.
Snails are nearly entirely blind and deaf, and sense things primarily through smell.
Cats were considered sacred in ancient Egypt. To kill a cat could result in a death sentence for the offender.
We flew to the moon for the first time only 66 years after flying for the first time.
The deepest canyon in the USA is Kings Canyon, California, which is 8,200 feet deep.
There are colors that humans cannot see or even begin to imagine.
Domestic cats and tigers share 95.6% of their DNA.
Turkeys can sing.
John Steinbeck's New Puppy ate the original manuscript of Mice of Men.
Crocodiles kill around 1,000 people each year.
Sea kelp can grow as much